Okay, now let's get started on the next topic, Whisper of the Heart. The idea of making the film Whisper of the Heart started when Miyazaki was relaxing in a holiday house in Shinshu, owned by his relative. A girl who is a relative of his has left a girls' manga magazine called Ribbon in the holiday house. Miyazaki had nothing else to do, so he started reading it. After that, Miyazaki started a discussion with other people spending the holiday with him, such as Mamoru Oshii and Hideaki Anno. He asked, can you make this into an anime, or is it possible to make an anime out of girls' manga in the first place? This means Miyazaki has completely denied the long line of works that established the history of girls' anime, such as Candy Candy and Majoko Megu-chan. To him, those are not girls' anime. Those are not an anime adaptation of girls' manga, but created by the same idiom used by Osamu Tezuka to make anime from boys' manga. So the question was, can you make an animation adopting the unique idiom of girls' manga? More specifically, Miyazaki saw girls' manga as he wrote in the proposal, the world of sweet and sentimental lies. And there is this pure feeling that can only be depicted using the sweet and sentimental lies. That's what makes girls' manga special to him. You see, this pure feeling, which can only be depicted using the sweet and sentimental lies. He thought depicting such a feeling was worth trying. This is what he was thinking. Miyazaki wrote the storyboard asking himself, can I do this? This is how the film Whisper of the Heart was created. Back then, Miyazaki stood up to be a producer, storyboard writer, and scenario writer to give more opportunities to animators around him. I mean, I won't say his juniors because who started working before who does not have much meaning in the animation industry. Anyway, he wanted to give more opportunities to younger generation, so he appointed Kondo to be the director. How did he try to express the sweet and sentimental lies without losing reality? He decided to go full realism. He decided to express the sweet and sentimental lies through the fully realistic depictions of everyday life. An extremely realistic expression in the opening sequence. You can feel the rivalry against Only Yesterday by Isao Takahata everywhere in the sequence. So let's check out the opening sequence of Whisper of the Heart. I'll explain how it's made. The melody, Country Road, opens up this opening sequence of Whisper of the Heart. You see a night view of a city. In this night view, only these points of light are blinking. So beautiful. Then the title appears, and this very thin train runs this way. This train is the only object making a large movement, so it catches your eyes. The story flows with this train kept in focus, making the audience's sight follow the train. What you first see is a grand night view of Tokyo from an extremely high altitude, and only the train is moving. Next, you see a relatively large terminal station. It's a little difficult to see, but this thin train makes a curve to enter the station. Again, the train is almost the only thing moving, so it attracts the audience's attention. The audiences speculate that the story begins when the train stops. The altitude drops step by step. You see? This is very high. The view from an altitude of over 1,000 meters switches to several hundred meters where you can visually identify each building. Then you get a view at an altitude of about 100 meters. It's also difficult to see in this image. But this train has entered the station and has come to this point. And it stops. When I first saw it, I thought that the story starts when I saw the train stopping at this point. However, the story did not start. Instead, the train leaves the station. From this curved motorway, you can see the buildings far ahead, and you can slightly see the train which starts moving again. So, you first see the bird's eye view of a big city, Tokyo, and then you see a terminal station in a rather rural area. The train stops there, but leaves the station toward a more austere, darker place without these buildings. It's headed to a rural suburb. Then, next you see a balcony of World Emporium, a local antique shop to be visited in the film. In the balcony, an old man is relaxing, and then you see the train we saw, running far over the handrail of the balcony. The scene changes step by step toward the rural side, with the camera following this train and with the altitude gradually decreasing. The train finally stops. These three images, let's check from the top. A railroad crossing, finally the camera is at the ground level. There is a railroad crossing and a woman waiting for it to open. The train slows down and stops at the station. The train stops at the station and a door for a conductor compartment first opens, and then the doors for the passengers open. The details are carefully depicted. This woman slightly turns her head when the train passes by. Her sight is following the train. What a meticulously constructed scene. So the camera has practically descended to the ground level. The story finally begins with the train stopped. The next scene is... This closer side is the station. Many people who were on the train come out from the station, so in summary, you first see the bird's eye view of Tokyo from 1,000 meters high. The camera keeps following the train as it's headed to the suburb, which finally stops at a small station with a railroad crossing, and any people come out. And now you see a convenience store right here, an actual existing convenience store franchise, and people are heading towards it. Then you see the protagonist, Shizuku, as she comes out from the convenience store with a blank expression on her face and with a single carton of milk she bought in her hand. The protagonist finally appears. This is not a dramatic entrance of the protagonist you typically see in Miyazaki films. Very subtle expression. From high up in the sky, the camera gradually descends and shows the people moving toward the convenience store near the station. The protagonist is the only one coming out from the store, so she stands out. Well, I strongly feel that this is definitely Miyazaki's film. Toshio Suzuki and Isao Takahata made some comments in a book about the Whisper of the Heart, proving my point. They said that it was an experiment to see whether a Miyazaki film can be made without Miyazaki, a huge experiment. And they said it was successful. In Ghibli's textbook, Suzuki said, "We did succeed in making a Miyazaki film without Miyazaki, but I'm still not sure it was a good thing or not. You can find many traces of Miyazaki he left in this animation film."